Okay. So I wanted to record the session so I have the audio um, for the financial class. So let me at least tell you what I want you to do. Okay. So
I'm not as tall as you, so like I can't really just do that.
do you want to sit? We can sit. Okay. I'm gonna sit.
This is a big pile of chairs.
Okay. Do you want me to sit? Because I don't know if I can sit in that big pile of chairs. Okay. Can I still be seen? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn to the side. All right, so I was hoping that Ethan would also be with you when, but he said that he can't and he's on, so he may not.
Joy,
Yeah?
I want to apologize.
It's okay.
I had a member talking to me and asking me to help her
No, you're
with
fine.
her health and
Oh. Oh. Were you able to help her?
people are yes now and then later.
Okay.
Which more it's like, God telling me to continue to go in this path to do with my help others again.
Are you
Yeah.
vegan?
No. But I've done it.
Yeah.
Is it hard?
Chelsea, you're welcome to come join us
maybe.
if you want.
I want to live like a
The financial class.
vegan, minimalist, environmentalist lifestyle.
You have to be committed because
I've been thinking about this for the past 2
the
years.
society's not designed to support that at all times. You have to be diligent in it on your own.
I'm recording this, but I don't know a better way to do it.
That's not my forte.
Okay, that's all right. Just so you know that you are partly in the camera. Are you okay?
Wow.
It's not live.
Okay, then. It doesn't matter. I'm fine. I have friends who took pictures all the
Hey,
time.
y'all.
So.
Is it over here?
It's in the sanctuary somewhere.
Okay, so where are we supposed to be?
I guess we can pull up a chair.
Look, Young and Spry get the chairs.
Until we figure out a better setup. Hi, Susan.
Yeah. Speaking of better setup, were you aware of that room right there?
I also want to use a projector. So as long as there's a projector
It
there.
is not in that room, but it's in the room that we would like to have if they have meetings.
Yeah. Because they're in there. So.
Always.
That's okay.
What room is that?
The one where they have the Sabbath school and the seminar day. That pass-through room.
It's like when you're coming,
Through
like
the window.
it's like the big room where you pass going into lunch with like the window, and then they have a door going into there. And then like if you're like out in like the cement floored area, then you can see the big window.
So we usually have ours. Well, we usually have
The big-
ours where they had
Committee.
yeah.
Yeah. And in that room
Then we
there's
switched over to
projector.
the other room.
But
So
question,
we have like the other
are
room.
they still
I
having
am
a meeting
recording,
there
but you're
still?
not.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get one of those.
Yeah,
fixes.
so until we figure it well, I definitely want it in the sanctuary anyway. Because I just felt like,
sanctuary.
yeah, it's just where in the sanctuary until,
Why not in the front?
because then someone just has to work the computer so that I'll be able to,
I can work the computer.
Well, there you go.
okay. Well, that's all we needed was a
That's all that.
conversation. We just needed a conversation. Okay, okay.
What all do you want me to be doing?
Yeah. We're gonna do breakout. Let me give you like the overview of today. So I sent everyone, or at least all the people that I had an email for, a folder. I go here. We'll do more. In fact, this is a great opportunity for me to. Those aren't gonna. Oh, all right, Hercules. I could not do it. I was like, so I came to these, but you were able to just whip it out. Here, you see somebody else. I am very strong.
You are?
Just figured if we get these out the way, if more
It'll
people come,
be-
you won't have to get interrupted again.
Okay, thank you.
One more.
Okay.
And stand alone.
Mama may be coming too.
So I'm recording mainly the voice more so than the video, and that's just so that I will have a record of what we talk about, to be able to put it to an actual curriculum. But let me go ahead and pray, and then I'll explain what the rest. And I'm excited because we have some young folks here that are going to give us their wisdom too. So, okay. Heavenly Father, Creator, Mother, Awesome Spirit, I just thank you for allowing us, for creating the space for which we can come into with our hearts that are as humbled as we're able to make. But God, I just pray that you would give us the grace and allow our hearts to be supple enough to receive your teaching, to humble ourselves completely before you. And I pray that what we learn from each other and from the wisdom that your great Spirit will give us, that we'll start to practice so that we can be your voice, your feet, your eyes, and your vessels here on this earth to bring heaven to earth and your redemptive powers and all that you want to do through us, including your glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So thank you all for coming. And I will definitely still try to end by 3 because I have some commitments that I have after this, and I'm sure you all do too. So whatever we can get done today, that would be great. But if there's topics that we have yet to really dig into, then we can always pick up when we meet again. So I was mentioning to everyone that I sent a schedule of like when the dates are, and they're flexible to some extent. Yeah, you're fine. They're flexible to some extent, but then there's also availability for us to kind of switch topics around as we feel like we need to. So keep that in mind. Today is a total health day. Hello, come on in. And talking about health, not only in terms of how we manage what we spend or how we save, but also what it means to take care of our bodies, or what does it mean to what are the main drivers, I guess I should say, of our finances. And we can put it into 2 different categories. We can put it into the motivations, which is our worldview or our perspective, and then things that we have to spend money on to take care of, like our bodies. So whether it's body care or makeup or medical bills or anything like that. So we'll have a brief time where Miss Sander can talk about what she does as far as coaching and the perspective that she brings in terms of dealing with trauma. And then since she's been budgeting for so many years, she'll also be able to connect the reality of what's really going on when we don't deal with our trauma and how that shows up in our finances in some respect. Would you just like to give a brief overview of just who you are? But we're gonna. Well, I didn't know if I should call you Mama Sander.
I don't
Okay.
care. That's what you do. That's fine with me.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
That's what I call her, but I didn't know.
So when you changed, I'm like, hey. No, what I do, I'm a Christian life coach, but my specialty is dealing with people who have had trauma from sexual abuse and molestation. They were children, trying to heal from that as an adult, and also have dealt with patients with depression. And one thing I do know is that if you're not healed through those issues in your life, you will carry it on in your adulthood, and it will come up through your finances.
As one way.
That's
yeah.
one way.
And so she'll say a little bit more about that
Yeah.
once we cover just the basics.
Yeah.
And since I did not talk to Randy before, she recently volunteered to do the computer. I'm going to be running back and forth because there's a couple of things that I do want to project. And you'll also see the notes that I have for us. And of course it wants to shut off.
Oh, Joyce, also to let you know, they have a clicker too.
Oh yeah?
for the future.
Well, I knew they had a clicker. I just did not talk with Matt or with Luke beforehand.
Yes, 'cause I don't know how to work
Um,
it. So
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in at least to the first part.
Oh
Joy, do you
gosh, I
want me
can't
to
see
do-
that.
It's not really.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to do the computer while you sit over here and talk?
Sure, that might be helpful. Thank you.
Me too.
she can.
Can you see that here?
I'll make it bigger, but it's not really not meant for you all to see it. It's just meant for me to
So you're
have
talking
notes.
notes?
Oh,
Yeah, they're just talking.
Okay.
But if you want, I'll make it bigger. So if you want to.
Oh no.
But it's all.
I'm not going
You're
to.
talking notes and I'm
I'm wearing glasses.
Okay.
I'm nearsighted.
There are also, if you go to that email that I sent you, it's under week 1. So you can pull it up on your phone too. And it's the
Did you ever send
exact.
it back to me?
Because I don't see
No.
the email.
I won't have it.
I don't know why it did not work.
Where's it sent from?
You didn't get it either?
I don't think so, but then I have a lot of junk mail, so I don't know.
Okay. I'll resend it. I'll resend it as a link. Like as a different, I won't go through Google Docs because before I went
Oh, it's
through
in Google Docs.
Yeah, so it shows up differently than an individual email.
I never used Google.
Okay. Well, I'll send it as a individual email and I'll just put the link in there.
Alright.
And actually, let me go ahead and just say a little bit about this curriculum because it's something that I am piecing together because there's not one curriculum that has a complete look at the person that I know I need when I talk about my finances and what other people talk about. And so it gives us an opportunity to be flexible and to invite people. Yes, please. To invite people, but then also to cater this to exactly what we need. So many of the curriculums, thank you for coming, have a youth component, but the youth component is separate from adults. I want to do an intergenerational class. So having Chelsea and Randy and Ethan is supposed to be here, but we didn't have a chance to work it out with his parents yet. I just talked to Ethan. So hopefully he will be with us next time. But then even having Serenity as a part of this too, because I talked to Serenity. Actually, Serenity said that she wanted to be a part of this, and I was like, brilliant. But there's another adult who actually teaches elementary age school kids about finances. So I really thought God is really bringing this together in a way that I feel like we actually live out our finances. Whenever we buy things or whenever we participate in consumerist society, it's not just adults. It should be, but it's not. Because a lot of the things that we consume, whether it's shoes or pants or computers, there's actually child labor on the other side of that. So it's a really intergenerational market and one that we'll be able to get into because looking at our world vision and our finances is also a part of this. And so I'm hoping that we will be able to be real with our own lives, but then we'll also be real with how God wants us to live out our lives. Because I'm sure many of you will have your personal goals as to what it is that you want to get out of this class, and I do want to hear those, but we'll get into that in just a second. But beyond our personal goals, I think there is a God mission that we have in this world. And so that's one that I am pushing. I'm not defining what that mission is. All I know is that it's probably different than how we live our consumerist lives. And to be open into what that looks like so that everyone has the right to water and food and shelter. So that's what I am aiming for out of this. I'm trying to get it in because I want us to be done by 3. But I should be okay if we don't finish. And hopefully you will be too, because you have all of the information again in that folder I sent, but I will resend it in a different way for those who didn't get it the first time.
Didn't go.
I don't think you have any. I don't have an email address for you.
No.
So
You said
how?
you were going to make a copy of something and give this to us.
Okay, so I have. Okay, so I didn't make enough. So let's talk after.
Okay.
But for now, can we just go around and very quickly just say, look, what are your goals? Um, if you want to share. If you don't have a goal for financial stewardship, then that's fine if you don't want to share it.
Are we gonna meet again Saturday?
Not next Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we won't
that-
meet.
the following Saturday, we're not gonna be here. Because I thought Carlos was gonna make me copies of what I told you that we're gonna
You
have.
won't go until July 13th.
Right, so he forgot all about it. So
It's
I had
okay.
to go.
Yeah,
So, okay.
July 13th. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So my goal basically is to gather information and just hear other perspectives on what other people have to say, and just to learn and hopefully and do it so I can also share. I don't really have a specific goal financially as far as like I'm trying to save for this or save for that, but just to be more financially literate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm probably the same way in terms of I don't really have a specific goal, but just to have a management over all my finances and make sure I'm not I'm spending wisely and also thinking of the future and because I think that especially when you're a little bit younger, you may think that you have a lot more time or you could do this, but I think I want to be able to be more literate.
Mhm.
Pass.
Okay.
I guess for me, just more information and probably save more towards my future. Traveling, just financially independent, and to discover ways to make monthly income or passive income, so I can not be working hard the rest of my life. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a pass.
All right.
So, I guess in general, using this as a continuous timeline of my progression into a financially free situation and continuously migrating away from the mindset about how things are now about the need to buy and get and do, and more so assessing what my true values are and what my needs are, what my wants are, and use that to guide it so that I'm not purposely doing things that's outside of myself and to be financially free.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want
Can I say a goal?
Yes.
So I'm trying to like live like a minimalist lifestyle, and I want to like learn how to like incorporate that financially, so that I'm not like overspending and overgetting things, and so I can live like a simple lifestyle.
Yes.
That's
Good.
good.
That's good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Well, I took that course before, but I want to refresh it again. To see if we still doing things the right way, or there are a couple of, we're getting old, and there are a couple of bills, medical bills that we have to pay. So see how we're gonna balance the budget again and see what it, cut here, there, and see what we can do. So
Well, to me, my experience is since I was a single parent for 22 years, I didn't have nobody who can help me, not even welfare. So I did it on my own. So I learned it on my own, and thank God that I got him. I got him because whatever I'm doing, he's telling me I'm doing right.
Oh, that's good.
Even though it's not easy. A single parent mother with 3 kids, moving here, moving there, trying to find the best place and keeping them in church, which was my main goal. And it's not easy today's day. You guys are young. I know you're raising 4, 3, something. No,
you're still young. You're still young.
It's like 5, but yeah.
well, 3. But it's not easy.
It isn't.
It's not easy, especially today's day. In those days, I thank God that we didn't have no cells at that time. We didn't have everything was long clothes. Everything was long clothes, nothing short. And you know what? You know what I mean? And it wasn't easy. And thank God, even though I was in California, and they were in church, involved in church, in the Pathfinder, college in Florida, the same thing. In New York, they joined a choir. They did by themselves a choir, which Tony kids were involved in the choir. He was married at that time. I was still single, and his kids and my kids were together. They were raised together in the same church. My daughter's husband, same church. Which I thank God for that, and thank God at least one of them. He's not at church, but was here today, and they're still. I'm praying for them and everything. But I thank God that for doing myself, I think I did a good job.
Yay!
So.
And you did, and that's why we're all here, because somebody did some hard work for us in order to be here.
Yes.
So let's also talk about our personality. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in for today. So the 2 points, or the 2 different sections today, it's talking about how personality affects your financial spending and management, and how your health affects your financial spending and management. So some people may ask why personality matters as far as financial literacy. So one of the first things, and you can read up here at the point, one of them is just to know yourself well and the power to make different decisions in tough times. So for example, if you are someone who just loves to give gifts, and that is your love language, and that's how you want people to know that you are thinking about them, and someone says to you, oh, tomorrow's my birthday and I want you to come to my birthday party. Of course you're going to be like, I got to get her a gift. And I have to get like the gifters of the gifts, right? Like whatever that is. And so you go out with your credit card and you see this really nice cute purse, you see the scarf, but then you see something, oh, that's her. That is so her, and it's $35. You're like, it's her. I got to get it for her. And so you spend the money and you put it on your credit card. And then someone else says, hey, so-and-so is having a anniversary and we're just giving small donations. Can you make a donation? I love them. They are so awesome. Yes, here's 20. And already out the door, the week hasn't ended and you've already spent $55. And we're not even thinking how our own intuition of how our personalities affects how we show love to other people. So that's one example of how, as to how it matters. So for those of you who are givers and you're like, wait a minute, how else would you deal with those situations? For someone who's giving, it's not their love language, but spending time is, they'll be like, oh, you know what? I can't wait to invite her to a spa day at my house and we can just have tea and cookies and just relax by the outside porch. Like, and that... I know! So there are different ways to spend birthdays, and there's different ways to celebrate other people than having to go to Macy's or to, I don't know, just use this tool of money. This tool of money is actual power, and is actual way to change the world. And if we don't think about it in terms of how it connects to our personalities, then we never give ourselves the true power that we have to make tough decisions in hard times. Because many of you were talking about, medical bills, or talking about, I want to be able to save or travel. But if you're not connecting that personality piece to how you usually spend money, then you rob yourself of the power that you really want to exercise over your finances. And also, it helps you to avoid traps that other people set according to your personality. So if you don't think this is a thing, again, you have access to this. There's a full article on how marketers cater to personalities. And there are a spectrum of different personalities depending on which test that you take. But for the most part, people agree on they're either 13 or 5 or a basic 3. The people who do, the people who don't, and the people who are in the middle. And so marketers can really be very specific, and that's where Google Analytics comes in about where you go, how much time you spend there, and why certain ads are popping up on your screen, but they don't pop up on mine if we have two different ways of seeing the world view. So knowing your personality not only allows you to have power over your own decisions, but allows you to have power over other decisions that people are trying to get you to make. You have something. Is that a hand?
But is this how it's set up though? Is this an interjectory time?
Oh,
I
no.
can hold it.
Go ahead and go ahead, since you are. And while you say your piece, Randy, do you mind scrolling down a little bit?
I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that I agree with her.
It's
I
an
never thought
article,
about
isn't it?
But I'm saying like how she brought it. You know what I'm saying?
She's saying
Like what she's saying is the life I live
Yeah.
because I'm a giver, right? But I feel as if I've been in the process of breaking that matrix, and I'm just glad you're
Oh, good. High five.
bringing
Yeah.
this to everybody. It's real, y'all.
Yeah.
That is it.
And if you are wondering what your personality is, again, you have the link that I send, but there's a very quick test. Do you mind scrolling down a little bit more, Randy, please? Okay. Don't worry, I'm reading everything, so you're getting it from me. You can actually go down so that it says, so what is my personality? It's at the very top.
Alrighty.
Perfect. So there are a couple of different ways for you to kind of get familiar with your personality. I would say the best way is to spend time with God and to ask God to reveal things to you. Because not only will God reveal who you are and who God says you are, but there's also a purpose behind how God made you. And not only that, but God will begin to bring up to you things that need to be dealt with that we probably don't even have language for. So that is the first way to know thyself and to know your personality. And to spend time asking yourself hard questions. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a written form. And I'm learning that writing is really not my mechanism of self-reflection. Like talking is the best way. And I've realized that through reflecting on how I self-reflect. But whatever and however you do it, it's very important that you start to have that dialogue. I am just now able to have that dialogue with myself and with God. But before, I've always needed someone else. So you may need a therapist. You may need a counselor. You may need like a good friend. But however you start, in order to get power over your finances, having that time where you can self-reflect is very important. So that's one of the objectives today. That's you're doing is self-reflect. Okay, we can scroll down a little bit more. Another option to know yourself is to see what other people say that personalities are. There are people that actually study this field, human personality, and how humans show up in this world. And there are two different ways that we can try practicing today. That was the original plan, but I don't know if we have time. The first one takes about 5 minutes to do.
Just do 60.
Okay, but you'll need your phones to do it. Does everyone have phone with internet access?
There's Wi-Fi in here.
There's Wi-Fi. There's free Wi-Fi.
Okay, let's try to get the Wi-Fi.
And I'm gonna give you the
Hey Randy, do you remember the Wi-Fi password?
Jesus saves
All lowercase.
all lowercase, no
See,
spaces.
she remembers too.
Are you taking notes too?
Once you
are
have it,
awesome.
you will always remember.
Okay, this is
Amen.
the, and you can take it up here if you
Oh,
want.
alrighty.
So the website I want you to go to is www.testcolor.com.
Where's Burgundy at?
What do you mean?
I love tests.
Is it pick a corner?
I do. I love quizzes and
Oh.
tests.
And it should say, hold on, we're gonna find it. It should go to the green box where it says personality test.
Personality, colors.
Can we start now?
Yeah, I mean, if you've already found it, yes. I'll go back and you can do it on here.
Personality.
Sorry, could you say the website again?
www.testcolor.com.
See if you can
What
burn
color?
it.
Thank you.
You right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. www.testcolor.com.
Oh, that.
But how many do
I've done that
you have?
before. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did I pick all the
Oh,
colors?
so you're supposed to in the order in which you prefer, and so they're all gone.
Well, there's two different directions. So there's two different steps. The first step, you choose the color that you like the best to the least. The second time, the color that you like the least to the best.
Okay, so until it's gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, where's the next person?
Yes,
I mean about my personality.
And they're like,
You have to pay $9 for this?
no, it should be the free one.
Should have my personality right there. I saw that $9. I'm like, skip it.
Okay. So what I did is this.
You're choosing,
Green color.
escoge los colores
No, it's
que a ti te gusta, que tú prefieres.
Okay.
Ok, pero este que me acuerdo.
Okay. Pero hace que todo,
Se hoja.
ajá. ¿Dónde está Safari? ¿Dónde se puede ir?
Así.
No, para el internet.
No,
Pero-
Pero ya está conectado. Pero no quiero tomar la prueba.
¿me puedo hacer la
Yeah,
prueba?
you did it.
Okay, pero no sé cómo se puede buscar en internet.
Mira, aquí.
¿No sabe? Bueno, yo.
Dáselo a ella.
Ajá.
Ajá,
No,
ok.
pero siga.
Ajá.
Escogen todos que a ti te gusten. Hasta que...
Interesting.
No
Like I
queda.
said,
No
though.
queda ninguno.
Ajá.
Ok,
Did you read it, the description?
I did. It tells me what I already know
Okay.
in my heart. Because it says extrovert, introvert. So it will tell you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm
That's
an
true.
extrovert.
I'm not sure I'm an extrovert at all.
So what?
I'm an extrovert, so I don't know if that's true. I'm an
¿Los
introvert.
puedo coger mejor entonces?
I will say this.
Hasta que...
From my experience,
Joy.
Siga. Ajá.
I'm done.
my
I'm an
life
introvert, which is
circumstances
true.
Is it
put
true?
a
Yeah.
covering over my truest self, and so I was living in an alternate version of myself until I realized that I'm not living to my full self, and then I shook it off, and I was like, this is who I truly am.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
on.
More specifically, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sigo haciéndolo.
Ajá.
Ok.
And, and when you was talking,
Sure.
I was like, I'm going to set up an
Yeah.
appointment.
Es muy... Hay muchos.
Wow,
Pero
con-
escogen todos que a ti te
Thank you.
gustan lo más hasta que nada
Nada.
queda.
Comenzando del color que le gusta más
Ajá.
hasta el que se
El que
gusta
menos te
menos.
gusta.
Ajá. Okay.
Almost done.
How do we do?
Everything I thought I was.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, no.
Sorry.
So there are several different, I know there's some people still taking it. I'll wait a few minutes. There's some disagreements I heard though, as I was helping some people.
Hay more.
No, por eso es el segundo paso. El segundo paso es escogen los que a ti te gustan lo menos.
You've known me my whole life.
No me gusta.
Ajá,
Yeah, right.
lo menos.
Yeah.
Empieza con
Yeah.
lo
And
menos.
guess what?
Yeah, he's right.
Nothing really lately.
So for those of you that are done,
Yeah.
okay, let's have a short discussion because I know that you said that it's not you.
You're not allowed to talk about your pieces, are you?
Oh, but are you though? Are you though? Have you ever been?
Detail.
So what?
quiet, don't say much. That person might be in the front line, like that.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
I
You
would say
said-
hi to you. I mean, not like I'm just shy and it's my personality. You know that. So I'm
Okay.
definitely
Eso son.
That is
Eso
so
no se
strange.
sabe.
I did not see you
Pero
as
como
a
dicen,
at all.
What you're saying
Really?
just seems as if you're very.
Do I look friendly? I really am not. Though.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
You're just
That's why
cautious.
I'm not friendly. I am, but I gotta get to know someone. Like
That
I'm
just
more like
makes you
that.
guarded.
You
Uh-huh.
guarded friendly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And here's the misconception between extrovert and introvert. People think that if you're outgoing, if you are always wanting to be at the front, if you always want to be like in the face of everything, then that means you're an extrovert.
No,
And if you're someone who's quiet, you're
Yeah.
an introvert.
No.
Extrovert and
Really?
introvert is just your perspective and worldview and how you engage. It doesn't have anything to do with behavior. It can show up as behavior.
Okay.
But if you're in a job and you have to be like the president or of any type of company, including like of a country, of any type of company. But if you have to speak in front of people and you're an introvert, are you not going to do it because you're like, oh, I'm an introvert?
Yeah, I won't do that.
Well, if
That's
it's
fear. Public speaking, stuff like that. So
Go to
absolutely, I would not.
textcolor.com.
Okay.
Catch up.
Well, here's the thing, is that we learn behavior and how to function, but that is very separate than our internal being. So I'm not saying the
Yeah.
test is not correct
Correct,
for you.
yeah.
I'm just saying
I
that
understand.
if we are only looking at extrovert and introvert as a black and white, then we may be fooling ourselves. Yeah.
I agree with Joy is
Oh,
saying
this
that maybe you should spend some time with some introspection and see what validity it may have before you cancel it out.
Okay.
But then also there are different there are also other tests that I included within the folder.
And you're gonna re-email it to me.
I will re-email it to you, and there's a link that has a set of like 13 different ways that you can also know yourself. So everyone, yes ma'am.
Notes.
Huh?
The notes. Because like my scores are still there.
I'm sorry. Oh, my computer's not working?
No, do you want me to go back to
Oh,
the
yes,
notes?
please. Thank
Alright.
you, Randy. You're on it. She's
Great.
like, yeah. Okay, todo está bien con ustedes. ¿Qué pasó?
Great.
Okay,
I
well.
like it.
Did you take it?
You wanna
Yeah.
read it?
And what is
Is
it?
it right? Is it
Oh.
correct? This is right.
No.
Because you
I'll
were
tell you the
up.
same thing Chelsea made me think on it. Sleep on
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Oh, this is good. So save this for yourself. So if you want to, so I copied and pasted mine in a folder. Not that I'm gonna look at this as the Bible. Again, this is just another method
Yeah.
of getting to know yourself. So no one knows your complete self except for God, which is why the first step was to spend time with God and to spend time with yourself, because that is where the real work actually happens anyway. And all of these other tests, they're prisms of who we are as individuals.
This is so interesting.
Now, but please,
No,
so this
you
is
wanna
this is like our to do when we break them into our smaller group. Your task, your homework is to spend time with yourself, getting to know different parts of you that you didn't know. And it can include taking some of these personality tests, or it can include you speaking with a therapist or talking to God in prayer, like however way. But if you want to have the financial goals met you have for yourself, you absolutely need to know how you function and see the world. Okay. Are there any other thoughts on that before we move on to section B, which is a whole different topic, which is talking about health? Any other surprises? I don't know. Some of you are like, I don't know. I can't read you. So I don't know if you're mad or I'm not so sure.
I have to save it.
Do you want me to scroll down now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Take the three
No, that's good. Oh, how do you save it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Until all of them are gone.
All of them are gone.
And then you do it again in reverse. Until they're all gone.
You do your favorite there, and your favorite the second time.
We're gonna copy it, and then can you put it in an email?
Yeah.
Can you like? Can you text?
Kind of Quiz Thomas is complete. He's doing the other class.
Share. We're gonna
He
see if
would
it will
come
come
like
here.
word quizzes. It takes forever.
This Yeah. This will. I don't know who this is.
That you can make this say whatever you want.
You don't want to text it to your husband?
No, I would like
You know, I'll be like, you got green on today.
But no, which one really is not like practice with
Right.
Well, my wife's
Right.
attracted
That
to
was
red.
to your
I mean, I already know that.
No, but you
Okay.
Okay. So that is ready?
Yeah. And yep.
Okay. So I send it to somebody?
All right.
Do you want to send it?
Send it
You don't want
to
to
her. You want to send it?
You want me to say this for you? Okay.
Don't save it. It's already saved.
Yes.
Okay.
I sent it to Lindsay for you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Almost every day.
So then I have to
So here's a question while I finish up over here. According to what you know about yourself and what this test may have shared accurately about you, not saying it did, how could this show up in your finances, both in terms of saving money and how you spend money? If you can think about that, then we'll have a short discussion. Or if you know, go ahead and share with the group. Okay.
So my test said that I'm both extroverted and introverted almost equally, which I kind of knew that about myself depending on circumstance and how I personally feel that day. Then it was talking about that my number one is creativity, which is true, because I'm always trying to think of things to do, create, and do an event, stuff like that, and therefore, so I have started several businesses and then like bought stuff, but then did not like finish it because I was like, I don't think I want to go that way anymore, and so I spent money here and here and here and here, so I could use some of the other skills that I have, like organizational abilities, and if I could learn some of the other ones, managing, and to curtail that impulsive spending on my creativity and put a pause on it for a second and think it through a little bit more.
That's good.
I have a question, guys. What does when they break down your pie, what does that mean exactly? Like,
How you answered it. Like based on the colors you picked, and each color represented a certain characteristic type, and so how much you scored in each type, and which one is your highest to lowest.
so like if you, what is considered as low? You're low on this and high on this. Like, what numbers?
On your pie chart, like for example,
Yeah.
on mine, my low one is a 5, which is a blue, which corresponds to interesting decision maker. I could see that. I could, like, I had what I just said. So, that.
Okay, which ones are more your strength and which ones are
Mine is
The highest
creativity, organization, emotional intelligence, and imagination.
Well, this is me all the way.
I told you this is my
I'm good.
How was it? Come on.
Except there is a problem.
What?
One thing it could be me. I don't know.
Probably is. Oh wow. My pie is so right.
Did you go is your pie right?
More
My
decision
pie
making.
is
Who
very
had
right.
decision making in their top?
So how about this? How about
That's
we?
absolutely accurate.
How about we'll go on because we're gonna have time at the end with Margaret
okay.
to kind of tease this out a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you, Randy. Can you scroll down a little bit more to health? Did you want to say? I don't want to cut you off.
What? It just
You were gonna say one.
says I'm a 43% extrovert and a 57% introvert.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Because
Keep
I
going.
only turn on the
Randy.
extrovert when I want to.
Okay. So here's some. So ask the Holy Spirit to help you. Ask yourself why. So before you do something,
No,
That's
it's
good.
not
What
what
you
you think
just
about
said.
me.
Nobody else catch what Joy just said with a couple of words.
Go right here.
Aww.
Yeah, Joy said,
think
ask
about
the
me.
Holy Spirit
Aw.
to help you answer the question, why?
That's
That
my
was
daughter.
powerful, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Kara. And then also self-reflect on your day, your choices, and why you made those choices, which is very important. The motivation. So making a choice is not as important as motivation. For example, giving in church People give in church for different reasons. People can give in church because other people are watching them. People give in church because their mom told them. People give in church because they are afraid to. People give in church for whatever reason. So don't necessarily look at what you do, but look at why you do what you
that
do.
right there. Sorry.
That right there.
Right there.
So that will help you as you in your self-reflective state. Those questions of why and motivation is very, very important, and that will directly connect to how you spend your money and management. And in our small groups, you'll have a chance to kind of tease that out a little bit more and ask each other questions.
I think it's very personal, I mean, because I hear what you're saying, but people say, like, because you're a couple or you think you know somebody or whatever, you still have different motives on why you do what you do. And that's really what I was saying, like, just because my wife and I are married, right, doesn't mean that we think alike, as far as giving or not giving, because I think it's whether you're selfish or not selfish, and that's internally, because you can have some selfish modes internally, and you really don't even share it with your spouse or your significant loved one or whatever. It's like that's you, and you're still fighting that piece. That's why I said, because it connects to the whole spiritual piece between you and God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why I was getting all hyped, because in the Bible, right, that story about the man, he was like, yeah, look at all this money I gave to the church, and his heart, his motives weren't right, but then the woman who came and her motives were pure, but this all she had wasn't a lot. And so that's what Joy was saying right there, y'all.
I picked my team wisely.
Oh, she's on your team?
I am. But I'm still hyped.
No,
That's right there.
I knew that.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead to go into health. All right, because we still have some good pieces, and I still want Mama Sandra to have a chance to really say her piece before we leave. Randy, do you mind going down just a little bit more? We're going to keep going down. We're going to skip that. Okay, right there. Perfect. Okay, where does our health start? When we think about our health, it is such a big term. Sometimes we don't even know what we mean by health. Like, people say, okay, are you meaning, like, do I have disease? Are you meaning, like, am I happy? Like, what are we really saying with health? At other points, people overemphasize health as just being a few things. Are you diabetic? Are you in the hospital? Are you at home? Like, it's very cut and dry when we think, when we toss the word health around. And so many people have their ideas of what is health or what is healthy. We are only going to focus on two parts of this health. The first is the body, and the second is the emotions. Okay, do you mind going, scrolling down a little bit more, Randy? And by the body, you can go down a little bit more. Thank you, this right here. Again, in your small groups, I'm going to ask your small groups to kind of cater the discussions around not only about personality, but now it's about health. Like, how can we start to practice healthy habits within our small group to see how that affects our finances, because it does. So there are 3 things that you can do. There are more, and I've listed some, and there are also examples that you can adopt. But there are 3 things that you can do that will affect some of the major chronic diseases and illnesses that people experience. 1 is get some exercise. 2 is consider what you are eating. Not necessarily what you're not eating, but what you are eating. That's the most important piece. And the 3rd piece is drinking water. Tobacco cessation and prevention is also very important, but I know that that's also very difficult. Very difficult to do. Okay, Randy, do you mind scrolling down a little bit more? I know we're approaching our 3 o'clock deadline.
It's 237.
Okay, so here's a video I want you to watch, because when we think about our health, we often don't think about water, exercise, and what we consume is as important as it is going to the store to get some Advil or to go to the store to get some Tylenol or what. And those things are important. Oh, she is already on it. Thank you.
You didn't name sleep.
Give me some sound.
Sleep is important.
There's no
Yeah.
sound.
There's no sound.
Yeah, like, is it?
It should be. It's the there. No.
Matt's coming.
Okay. All right, I'll let Matt.
Way to go, Matt.
Yay!
He's on the ball.
Right.
All right.
I'm sick.
I'm sick. I'm sick. A lot of people who get sick go to the doctor. And they could have just gone to the drugstore and felt better quicker. After all, sniffles and other minor ailments don't require a waiting room. It's hard to think about it when we aren't feeling well, but there are other treatment options. Over-the-counter medicines can save you uncomfortable waiting room time for minor ailments, and can save everyone unnecessary healthcare costs. Americans save $95 billion by using over-the-counter medicines instead of visiting a physician. But if over-the-counter medicines didn't exist, she'd have way fewer options, and would either have to go to the doctor, or she wouldn't do anything. Don't waste your day feeling sick. Use over-the-counter medicines. Use your sick days for the serious stuff. America saves $34 billion in workplace productivity thanks to over-the-counter medicines. That's a healthier you and a healthier economy. So the next time you feel a little sniffle, an upset stomach, or even a bee sting, consider all your treatment options. And remember that every dollar spent on over-the-counter medicines saves the U.S. healthcare system more than $7. That saves $146 billion annually, and that makes for a healthier healthcare system. Visit chpa.org for more information.
Who sponsors that?
CHTA.
No, I'm talking about what organization.
I think that is the I don't know what it stands for though, but that organization pays for it. Could you go back to the notes, please? And could you pull up American spends billions of dollars? There's a link on billion. And hopefully it'll be big enough. Okay, it's even too small, I can't even see this. Okay, so let me first get your thoughts on the video. What did you pick up?
There you go.
Oh, thank you. She is so awesome. So what did you pick up from the video?
Not to go to the doctor to spend money on over-the-counter medicine.
Okay. And how
Save
much are
money.
we saving?
A lot of money.
Billion.
Yeah.
What else did you pick up?
That's all I can do.
Okay.
Because it saves you money.
What's the other side of that though?
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yes,
And
stay
what are the
healthy.
ways that we can stay healthy? Sleep,
Eat properly.
eat properly, which is what I said, nutrition. What else?
Drink a lot of
Water and exercise. So think about it in terms of this. So we can save $96 billion on healthcare costs by going to the store and purchasing over-the-counter medicines. So we can do that, and people do that because this is in millions of dollars.
Doesn't need to be here.
People spend money on acne. People spend money on diuretics because of constipation, ear drops. But a lot of these things, again, can be mitigated for free by doing what? Exercise, water.
Resting.
Resting. Yeah, there's a
Eating right.
yes,
Is this link included in the email?
yes,
All right.
yes. It's
I
all
don't
in
have
there.
the email.
Show me.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
I apologize.
It's okay. I'll resend it in a different way.
I'm gonna look at it.
I'll resend it in a different way.
Does it say Jordan?
I don't know because it came from Google Docs, so it may say something different. But here's the thing: we don't necessarily connect all of our health elements to those things. When we go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Oh, you have heart disease," we automatically think, "What happened?" So it's not a one thing that happened, it's a several things that happened. So we need to make sure that when we experience things like, so I mentioned to y'all that I have a uterine fibroid. This thing has been growing for years. So when I went to the doctor and she was like, you got to go to the ER, she was thinking it was cancerous. I was like, I don't know, but I'll go. Like, I don't know what, I don't know what to think. But it's been years that this thing is huge too. It's a lot smaller now, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna get the test results in August, so we'll see. But the point being is that where you are in your health, so whether it's constipation, whether it's acne, whether it's being overweight, or whether it's depression, like these things have a cumulative effect. And so if you just start for 1 week drinking water, diet, exercise, you may see some results, but some of the deeper underlying you may not get to yet. It has to be, again, a cumulative effect of doing all of those right things before you can really start to see a change, like in the deep areas of your life and in your health. So let's keep that in mind. I'm going to go into emotions, and then I'm going to pass it over to Mama Zander. In fact, do you... All right, let me... Is it already 2:45?
It's 2:45.
Okay, let's go down. So underneath layer to our health, and I kind of mentioned this when I said depression, but it's with our emotions and either dealing with trauma or not dealing with trauma. It's very important.
Sometimes too we get sick because it's just our what we think about it. I'm gonna tell you my sample. In the past, I was very sick. For a long time, I've never been sick like I was lately. According to the doctor, I had kidney stones. I went to the OR, they couldn't find nothing. I still had the pain. I was thinking this week, I was telling Tony, I'm worried because why I have this pain? Is it my colon or my kidney or what? Is it going to turn into cancer? But then I spoke to a friend of mine who she does an operation, an urgent operation. They told her she had something with her. It was not even her liver. Finally, she got a second opinion. Guess what? She had a tumor in her liver. Her doctor never told her what she had. So right now, my doctor, which I'm going to change doctor, I'm going to get a second opinion. But when I was talking to her, I was telling her how I feel. She told me maybe this is what you have. And then I think, oh, okay. So it's not colon cancer. So it's not my kidney problem. Maybe it's that what I have. So sometimes you put in your mind that this is what you have, but it's not what you have. It's like you said, you have to think positive. Like a lot of things, like doing the exercise, eating right. Maybe I'm not eating right. Maybe that's what is causing me the pain or whatever. And since I talked to her, I feel better. But even though I go through my exercise, no matter if I have a pain in my back, Tony knows it. But when I come out from that room, I'm a brand new person. So maybe it's the exercise that I need more. That's so sweet. They told mommy. So, I think mentally too, you have to think about a lot of mental things that.
I apologize, we ran out of time. Do you want to say anything?
I don't have time to say what I need to say.
Okay.
Well, one thing I do want to touch on that nobody has touched on is if you do have the ways and means of knowing your family history. Knowing your family history is very important.
Yes.
Because then you would know from what you're dealing with.
Exactly.
Some families have, high blood pressure, some families have high risk cancer, some have whatever.
Yeah.
If you know what's going on in your family, if you can do that, that's a huge step, number one step with your mental health, with your health and your mental health.
And your finances, because we will talk about history and heritage and how that kind of sets us up as to where we are as a population here.
And one more thing, I gotta go, is what we eat, how much we eat. we didn't touch on that either, is how much we eat as
Yeah.
well. So you can have the perfect foods
Yeah.
that's great for your body, but how much are you consuming
Doing
at that time when you're eating? Are you eating all during the day? Are you having 3 meals? You know, so it's not only what you eat, it's how much you eat and how much more you drink as well.
Yeah.
much better.
So for our small groups, our leaders again are Kara, Randy, are you group leader? Iris, and I would like for each group leader to have 3 people, no more than 3 people in a group. So
For today.
well, we don't have time to do breakouts today because it's almost 3, but I'll send out an email because I would like for us to meet in our groups before we meet back together as a group.
Last question. So
Yeah.
3 people max for our accountability goal.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and these would be your people that you will kind of go into. So I can put you into groups, or you can self-select into groups. It doesn't matter to me. But let's. Does anyone have any preferences? How about can we have the 2 of you with Randy, the 2 of you with Kara?
Who was the 2 of you? Who was the 2?
Yeah, I don't. Are you gonna be with us? Okay, you were just here for today. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'll be here.
Okay, that's fine.
You know.
And then Iris
But
will.
I can go in any group.
Okay.
Who's mine? She's one, right?
Uh huh.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
It's a conflict with my other groups. so
Okay.
we'll see.
That's you know. We'll
So
see.
we're not meeting. You're not meeting in your groups every Sabbath. Let me be clear about that. And if we do, it'll be during lunch. So it's not. It doesn't go past, let's say, 1 o'clock. It's just a check-in. All right. I think we've hit our mark. So let me.
We got 10 minutes.
Okay. Good. Are there any? Chelsea will be. I don't know. We'll see if Chelsea's gonna be in the group. I know that we.
I think this is great. I just want to let you know.
Oh,
This
good.
is very, very good.
Good.
I mean, I like it.
Good.
I like it.
Yeah. No, I don't. Okay, yeah. And I don't, the reason why I just said I don't know about Chelsea is because she didn't even know this was happening. I was like, will you stay? Because I came to pick her up.
No, I'm just
and
saying, I think it's good.
so
concur.
I would love for you to stay, Chelsea, and we'll get you worked in. But it depends on if you want to. So I'll
So
talk
you
to
need to make
you.
the announcement again next week.
Okay.
You know, because there's a lot of people going to be here next week. So that'd be good.
Yeah. So I'll resend an email out, and then I'll put the 2 of you with us. Okay, let's say a prayer.
You're doing good.
Heavenly Father, I just thank you for your goodness. I thank you for allowing us to be here for as long as we were. And I just pray that you will just allow us to keep going deeper and deeper and to do your will. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your presence. Oh, that's so sweet.